Good morning. Today we'll be learning about M&M's the candy. M&M's are colourful button-shaped chocolates, each of which has the letter M printed in lowercase on one side, surrounding a filling which varies depending on the variety of M&M's. Where did M&M's come from? M&M's are a chocolate-based candy. The chocolate is derived from a cocoa tree originating in South America. Cocoa was brought to Mexico in 7th century AD. First, the Mayans and Aztecs created a drink from cocoa beans, called cacahuate, which only the upper class drank. In 1528, this drink made its way to Europe. In 1828, Conrad van Houten, a Dutch chocolate maker, created a way to produce the solid chocolate that is familiar to us today. The method consisted of using a screw press to squeeze most of the butter out of the cocoa beans. In 1876, Daniel Peter, a Swiss candy maker, used dried milk to make the first solid milk chocolate, and in 1913, Jules Suchoard followed suit by developing a technique to make chocolate shells for filled chocolate. The first widely available and affordable chocolate bars were manufactured in 1904 by Milton Hershey. The final M&M product was created in 1940 by Forrest Mars Sr. and an associate whose name was lost to history. The M in M&M's comes from the first initial of the last name of Mars and his associate. What are M&M's made of? M&M's are composed of two main parts: hardened liquid chocolate and a hard candy shell. Liquid chocolate comes from a blend of whole milk, cocoa butter, sugar, and chocolate liquor, among other ingredients. The chocolate liquor is a thick syrup that is made from the grinding of cocoa beans. Roasted cocoa nibs undergo the process of broyage, in which they are crushed by a grinder made of revolving granite blocks. Chocolate liquor is actually composed of small particles of roasted nibs suspended in oil. A blend of sugar and corn syrup are used to make the candy shell. How are M&M's made? First, liquid chocolate is poured into tiny molds to create the chocolate centers of the candy. After the candies are formed, they are tumbled to make the chocolate center smooth and rounded. They are then allowed to harden. When the chocolates are hard, they are transported via conveyor belt to the coating area, where the chocolates are rotated in large containers as liquid candy made of sugar and corn syrup is sprayed onto them. Each coat leaves an even layer, a shell of dry candy substance. The color is added to a finishing syrup and applied as the final coat. Each batch is different color. Finally, the liquid candy dries into the hardened shell. The single colored batches are combined into mixtures of red, yellow, blue, green, brown, and orange. They are then transported to the machine that stamps the M on the shells. This machine is specially designed to imprint the M without cracking the thin candy shell. Approximately 2.6 million M&Ms are transported to the etching machine per hour. 100 million individual M&Ms can be manufactured per day. A special packaging machine weighs the candies, pours the proper amount into individual bags, and heat seals the package. Plain M&Ms are proportioned as follows: 30% brown, 20% yellow, 20% red, 10% green, 10% orange, and 10% blue. Peanut M&Ms are 20% brown, 20% yellow, 20% red, 20% blue, 10% green, and 10% orange. Peanut butter chocolate M&Ms and almond M&Ms have even proportions of 20% of each yellow, red, green, blue, and brown. After the single color M&M batches are combined, the pieces are sifted to eliminate any misshapen pieces. If an M&M is missing an imprinted M, it is not considered a reject. Because of the minor variations in shape from piece to piece, it is impossible to guarantee an M on each piece of candy.